New week, new documenting the journey.
I'm lost again. Yeah. I can't find a way. I can find no freedom.
Welcome back. On this channel, I document my journey, building my brand Exchange Life from 0 to 10 million a year. We sell custom jewelry. And you might be wondering why I have a plate of ice that I'm eating. Well, it's because next to being a big scaler, I'm also the best model for your e-com brand for ads. Anything I record will scale. That's like a fact. Is it true?
That is very true.
Yeah, you see, that is true. In this video, we will go to Christmas. I will take you guys at home, show you my environment, what kind of motivated me to, do my own thing and make it out, and some things that I'm struggling with in my head while being at home and not being productive, and a funny story with a viewer in Mexico that I ran into. So yeah, let's get into it. I see you in the video. I'm doing the intros now after the video, so that's why I'm in Cape Town already. So yeah, let's get into it. Look where we have made it to. Let me show you guys a little cute hotel. And then let me take you guys outside. Barcelona, and there we go. Beautiful city. How beautiful is it? Nice and vibey. There's a Five Guys right down the streets, which is where I, of course, will eat. Here for a few days. Again, there was a really good flight from Mexico City to Europe. You kind of have to look at like points deals. Use like the site, for example, seats.arrow. There's different sites like this where you can find all the points deals. Flying from there to here was like 20k points, really cheap. So just staying here one night and then I'll move on, 2 nights actually. So yeah, welcome back to my life outside of the brand. Hopefully I'll have some interesting shit to say this week, but already I teach you something about how to get cheap flights. So let me know in the comments what you're working on, what you're building, and let's get into my life. Look how beautiful the hotel is I'm staying at. It's right there. It's fucking, love the European vibes. Right next to this fucking cathedral. Kind of vibes out here. It's not even that cold. I think it's like the same temperature as in Mexico City. And I feel as sketched out here as in Mexico City, to be honest. But I did realize, I was talking to one of my friends that I was with in Mexico City, that there is also violence and murders in the good area of Mexico City. So I definitely heard gunshots a couple of times, multiple times. Like where I was like, this is for sure not fireworks. I think it's less likely to be fireworks anyways in Mexico City, but especially a few times I was like, this is probably gunshots. But yeah, we made it out. So enjoying this Barcelona now. Look at these beautiful Christmas vibes out here. European Christmas, it's nothing like it. I have missed the Durhams out there in Mexico. I don't think I found one Durham in Mexico. We're back in Europe. Just crushed a 5K run. Let me pull up the stats. So I told you guys in the last video that I was training in Mexico, we're running. I know it was super heavy because of the high altitude. Coming here, I just ran 5 kilometers at a 4:55 pace, which is strong for me. And it's so much easier here back in Barcelona. It's like chilly outside. It isn't cold, but it's like maybe, let's see what temperature it actually is. It is 10 degrees right now, which is great to run in. Just little shirt and shorts. Crushed my run, my workout for the day. You see, my man purse is not only functional because I can fit everything in there my whole life, but I can also clip my microphone. Watch these other fucking gurus copy me after this video. Now, I think it's time for a little Five Guys burger. And look how vibey these streets are. Come on now, real European streets. Let me show you guys. This is one way towards the ocean. And then this is the other way. And it's super Christmassy over there. As you guys can see. Good vibes, very central. Little adventure tomorrow and then I'm out of here. Time for a big burger at Five Guys. My favorite burgers, always good. Look at the light here. I'm in Sagrada. Even I look magical in this place. at this. This church is fucking huge. I just learned Gaudi loves natural shapes, which is why it's all very rounded and shit. And the light works very well because he looked at nature. Very cool.
Final freedom.
The state of me isn't so good, eh? Super early. Airport. Adventure. Which is not that early. It's like 7 a.m. But I just didn't sleep too much. Anyways, I just learned something life-changing, which is Ubers are cheaper in Barcelona than taxis. I paid like 32 euros with a taxi from the airport. I paid like 17 with an Uber to get here. Time to get the fuck out of here. We're gonna see the fam soon. It's been a little bit. It's always good to recoup and get home. I kind of like airports, but then now I'm not gonna drink coffee. So I'm gonna try to sleep on the plane. But yeah, a little airport adventure. Good food in the lounge. Some Spanish omelets with potatoes. I feel like I've been starving myself for the past few days. Just eating 1 or 2 meals a day. Big meals, but still 1 or 2 meals a day. If you've ever wondered how I travel, by the way, I just carry my hand luggage with me. One little carry-on and one backpack. That might change soon though, because I'm gonna start traveling with my sleep setup. That's just very nerd thing, but I'm gonna bring my own sheets and pillow and shit, so maybe I will start carrying a bigger suitcase. But for now, we travel light. Bring my white Air Forces, some black clothes, and my setup right here. It's all I need. And some underwear and socks. My laptop. You get the point. Visiting my family in Belgium. And look at this. It's almost like I'm doing girlfriend activities again. This is another beautiful church. I just went to the Sagrada Família. And now I'm here in this random Belgian village. Look how beautiful this church is. Wow. It's kind of sick. One thing about Europe is that it's grey and it's cold and it's cold. Look at this church. Super sick. 3 degrees. Look how fucking grey it is out here. This is the stuff of nightmares, man. This is the shit that I wanted to get out of, which drove me crazy, to be honest. Now, it's not nightmares at all, to be honest. It's very wholesome here, Christmas, but the constant grayness was the grayness and coldness and darkness and all of this, I think, does get to my head. And that was one of the things that drove me to, work to make my way out of where I was from. So yeah, always good to be back though. See the family. It's always a good reminder. And again, I don't give a shit. I would go back if I need to, I don't need anything. I'd go back for a year, for whatever, I don't need shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's always a good reminder to be back and to see where you're from, etc. Little update about my sleep journey. Christmas vibes in the background. How nice, how cute, so nice. Haha. So, it's 1:30 a.m. I'm just doing some work. Once in a while I go through all my messages. Because I realize I always tell you guys to message me, but then I get caught up and there's like 1,000 messages and then I don't get to probably answer any of them. And then once in a while I'm like, let me go through all of my messages and answer them. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just doing some work. Yeah, some other exciting things, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update on and get out of the way of the Christmas tree. So it's actually like a nice shot. I've been sleeping like a baby. I showed you guys how fucking gray it is out here, but I love, life is yin and yang. Every downside has its upside and every upside has its downside, right? I love the cold because it puts me to sleep. And I despise the cold because the things I mentioned before. But I do sleep very, very, very well when it's cold outside. I leave my room open. It's fucking freezing in there right now. And I sleep like a fucking baby. That, and I've been taking my supplements. I tweeted about this. One is magnesium. The other is L-theanine. The other is, oh, this one, I'll get into that. The other is 5-HTP, recommended by my nerd friend, my nerd biohacker friend. And then I'm taking this valerian thing as well. I don't know why, it just sounds cool, like a dragon or something. That also has been helping a lot, I think. I've been fucking fighting. Ooh, I just had a realization. I just said this valerian thing sounds like a dragon. This thing. I've been battling Lord of the Rings battles, live on the battlefield, leading the battle. It's probably because I've been taking something called valerian. Sounds like a fucking elf race. That has been helping a lot. I've got my own pillow now. I've bought like eye masks for when I go back because I'm leaving again in a few days. Out in the world where in, Airbnb rooms and shit, it isn't always fully dark, so it's nice to have that. And then what else did I get? My own pillow, my supplements. Always keep the room cool. And then shutting down before sleep, which I'm not doing now because I'm fucking being a nerd and grinding. Ah, yeah, I got my own fucking linen sheets, which will be sick. I'll be traveling with that from now on. So I'll have my own clean sheets. I don't have to feel nasty, but I can feel clean everywhere I go. So yeah, just a little sleep journey update. Get your sleep together. I swear, you should really prioritize sleep like your life depends on it, because it does. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be a Brian Johnson out in this bitch, but your whole life experience gets different if your sleep is good or bad. Anyways, it affects my mood a lot. So I've been so much more stable in my mood and in my well-being in terms of like feeling, mentally well-being. So yeah, random update. I'm gonna continue doing some work and then get to fucking sleep. Look at the coffee I'm drinking at home, Senseo. I don't think you've ever heard of this. It's these little pets. It's very Dutch. It's very Dutch. I don't know if they have it in any other country. But I wanted to tell you a little story while I make my coffee this morning that I forgot to tell you guys about. From when I was in Mexico, in Playa. So I was walking down the street like this, so with my headphones in. Which is arguably a bad thing to do in Mexico, to be honest, but that's a side note. And then I look up and this guy looks at me and he's like, "Hey, you make YouTube videos. Well, I follow your journey." I was like, yeah, I do. And then we started talking, and I always like when this happens, so please do it when you see me. Because it's interesting to me to see who watches me, which that we'll get to that. So then we start talking. My guy is doing emails. Let me refill the water. Or some agency or some shit in e-com and trying to launch his own brand. I don't know exactly what he did, but that's not the point. So we talk a bit more. And then I asked him, "What are you doing out here in Playa?" And then he knew someone that I knew that I was hanging out with. And then I was like, "Yeah, well, there was I see you, you walk up to girls and like you cold approach and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I do when I see a pretty girl." And and then he's like, "Yeah, well, so I'm here for like a cold approach camp, like a boot camp, or where you're like a week long. They just walk up and down the fucking strip, cold approaching girls," which is funny because at some point you've seen all the same girls, right? If you walk up and down the strip for 2 hours, you've seen all the same girls. And then I just thought it was funny, and then he's like, "Yeah, well, you should look into this guy because he's like one of the best in the game right now, and he's like undervalued. He's not overpriced. His boot camps are a good price." And I thought to myself, well, now I know my average viewer, so I know exactly what you're doing out there. You watching, you're looking for the cold approach boot camp. No, I'm joking. Of course, probably not. But I think it was funny. And I think it was funny how shameless he was about it, which is great. Like, you do you. I mean, I do cold approach girls, but I'm not going to some red pill boot camp either. I just put try and error in real life. But that was super funny about probably my average viewer, which I hope is not the case. Well, it's not a good or a bad thing, whatever. You do you, but I don't think you are doing that. I just wanted to share that. I wrote it down. Now I'm gonna have my morning coffee. Look how fucking gray and cold it is out here in the streets of Belgium. Because I often come to Belgium to visit my family. especially now for Christmas, and then we stay next to the beach. You don't see the beach right now because it's so fucking foggy. Anyways, that's why I wanted to talk about the dark period, because I personally link a lot of this with like my dark period where I was in my room, it was cold outside, I had, no friends yet, and I was just watching these YouTube videos, which I might be the same for you as some of the other YouTubers that I was watching were for me, which is at that stage of your journey, the only relatability that you're having is just people online because you haven't really found anyone yet that thinks the same way as you do. So for me, I just was working in my room all day and watching videos, and I kind of distanced myself from all my old friends and stuff like this. So I wasn't really seeing anyone for like probably a good year or something, maybe even 1.5, when I really decided to go all in to, make it work for myself. And after I dropped out already, at first I was a bit, half in, half out in like the party student life. And then at some point I was like, I'm going all in. And then it took about 1.5 years before I got to Bali, or I traveled to Bali for the first time. And that's kind of where I started to meet people. But, you know, you might be going through that right now. And this grayness reminds me of that. So I wanted to talk about that, which is that it's completely normal. Just wanted to remind you that this is something we all go through and we all have gone through. And you might see me now with like other people and, living the good life, as I like to call it, with sick people that think the same and are building big businesses and are doing cool shit. But to get there, going through this shit, the dark period is required and it's normal. Everyone you see with me now has gone through this, even though it looks like we all have figured it out. It's because we have figured it out. But to figure it out, you have to go through shit. So yeah, just keep going and watch these videos for relatability, and maybe listen to something I say and go to Bali, or like try to meet people somewhere else. But for now, if you're going through the dark period, just keep your head down and push through it. One thing I heard, I think Alex Ramosi say at some point, is that the number one indicator you're on the right path is if you cannot relate with anyone or compare yourself with anyone that is your age or wherever, because that means you are doing something differently. And if you want a different outcome, which is like the good life, for example, which not all, most people don't get. People that put the average input in don't get that outcome. That means you have to do different inputs and do something different right now to get there. So that is the number one indicator you're on the right path. You're not relating with anyone and thinking differently than everyone else. And so this is actually a good thing. So if you look at it from this way and know that at some point you are going to meet people that think similarly, if you keep going through it and go to places where you can meet people, then maybe that can like help you, think about it in some way. But yeah, for now, just keep going through it. If you want to get out of the other end, the good life, you have to go through the shit first. If you always want the average thing, you might as well always do the average thing and never have the lows, but also never have the highs. So keep it up. And it's fucking freezing out here, so I'm gonna go inside. Look at me, not only destroying cameras for the journey, but also my white forces. But I saw this bench, which is completely in the sand. I don't know what happened. I think it's wind. Pretty cool, right? I thought it was a cool shot. Celebrating holidays here. Merry Christmas to you. I'll upload this after Christmas. I haven't been doing too much work for the past week, to be honest. As you guys saw, I had a quick stopover in Barcelona, because the best flight was from Mexico City to Barcelona. So I did some wholesome tourist activities there, or as some might call it, girlfriend activities. Then now I'm back here celebrating Christmas with my family. Very important. I'll do a little Q&A with my hometown friends tomorrow. I haven't been too productive and that got a bit to my head. I don't know why that got to my head. Again, I'm someone that guilts myself when I don't work enough, so it's fine. I should take a step back sometimes. I've talked to you guys before about my background being Icarus, that my only concern is to not crash and burn, which involves taking a step back and reflecting and thinking and plotting and slowing down. So it's fine. I mean, I feel recharged. I'm fucking sleeping 10, 11 hours a night, which means I wasn't sleeping enough. Again, also putting more work into my sleep. Also not been going to the gym that week too much. Now I am. I found a little gym here and I'm running every day or working out. So it's fine. I can feel very quickly like I'm getting small when I don't go to the gym, which also gets to my head. So those things kind of got to my head. But it's my last few days here now. Tomorrow my hometown friends will come. Today I just had a day of catching up and launching some Valentine's things and some new products and things like this. So, oh yeah, I haven't talked about the new product yet. I will do that later. It's kind of a full circle moment. But yeah, my air forces are a little bit destroyed now. Time to find some food. And it's fucking cold. I'm not built for this. On my way out, just visited the family. Time to keep going to one of my favorite locations. So you will probably see in this video where I'm going. I'm just doing some work here in the lounge, launching some new products, because that is what 2025 is mainly gonna be about. I always tweak because I miss so many flights at this point. Even though I check like 10 times in the days leading up to it, I still tweak in my head that it's the wrong flight or the wrong day or the wrong, instead of the evening, in the morning. I don't know why. But yeah, let's see what's going on here. I uploaded my new video a few days ago and it didn't do that well. It was actually one of my worst performing videos, which is funny because that was one of my favorite videos, which shows that it doesn't really matter if you like it or not and that it's basically subjective. So just a funny thing. One of my favorite videos performed the least good of any of my videos, which is, I don't know, just gonna keep going with these anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just a fun fact I observed. I'm back tweeting. I think in 2025 I want to tweet once a day. I'm gonna do some reflecting today on a plane, and I did like a little yearly reflecting thing last year, and I should do like a little clip this year as well of reflecting on 2024, what went wrong, what went right, and then a little bit about what I'm gonna do in 2025. So I'll do that in the plane and then I'll talk about it. And I surprisingly had quite some things to talk about this video, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. I have to board the plane now. Oh, he's probably dropped him so many times now. What happened here?
Happy New Year, boy.
Oh, motherfucker, I just ripped this fucking trash bag. Anyways, it's time to clean up. Happy New Year. We arrived in Cape Town. I didn't really make any clips yet, but made a little clip yesterday with Matt, so I'm trying to obtain that so I can add it. Don't ask me why there is a jet ski in our pool. And yes, it's gonna be a whole lot of fucking work to clean this shit up. It's like waking up in the scene of Hangover. I don't even know what it's like, but I imagine it's like this. I never watched the movie.